He did agree to ABC. Now he's saying totally different race. I want Fox and I want an audience here. Is he going to win that argument?
I think he is. I mean, look, to be fair, it was a completely different candidate. 17 million people voted in primaries for Joe Biden and selected him. And then 2,500 people went online a couple days ago and said, no, we have a new candidate. That agreement.
She was a vice president, though. So
understood. If President Biden wants to keep that first debate, I think that's fine. I think it's completely acceptable and, frankly, deserved for that to be a new conversation.
Okay, your response, Maria?
I think it shows that he wants to do it on Fox. He wants to do it with an audience because those two things are like security blankets for him. And that's what he needs right now. This race has completely discombobulated him and the people around him. They have no idea how to approach running against somebody who is so accomplished, who is whip smart, who has a background as a prosecutor. And Donald Trump is a 34 times convicted felon.
And of course, he might be a 34-time convicted felon because of the Joe Biden-Harris administration, but that's just me talking, right? Folks, J.R. Dukes at your service. Welcome to my show. Today, we need to address yet another deceptive maneuver by the Democrats and their presumptive nominee, Kamala Harris. And she, of course, is the presumptive nominee because she does not officially have the party's nomination at this particular time and date. It's critical that we uncover the absolute truth in this latest smear against former President Donald Trump. The woke liberals are at it again. And this time, they're accusing Donald Trump of backing out of a scheduled debate that's coming up this September. But here's the kicker. This debate was between Donald Trump and current President Joe Biden, not between President Trump and the presumptive nominee Kamala Harris. So let's set the record straight. First, the debate was indeed arranged between Trump and Biden. This was the arrangement and everybody knows it. Now, we also Joe Biden in what I've called a bloodless coup being pushed forcefully out of the race, and now Kamala Harris has stepped in. Forget about the 14 million people that voted for Joe Biden. There's been a coup and Kamala Harris is now at that helm. And most importantly for this conversation, Kamala Harris is trying to rewrite the narrative. In addition to trying to rewrite her own history, she's trying to rewrite the backstory of this particular agreement. She's spinning a tale that Trump is backing out because he is afraid to face her. But here's the real deal. So at a recent campaign stop, Kamala Harris in Atlanta, Georgia, was trying to sell her audience the following fake lies.
So last week, you may have seen, he pulled out of the debate in September he had previously agreed to. So here's the thing. Here's the funny thing about that. So he won't debate, but he and his running mate sure seem to have a lot to say about me. And by the way, don't you find some of their stuff to just be plain weird? Well, Donald, I do hope you'll reconsider to meet me on the debate stage. Because as the saying goes, if you've got something to say,
well, she is indeed hilarious, right? I mean, she just is a very charismatic speaker. Everybody just loves her, right? Well, I don't think so. I did speed some of that up, as you may have noticed, because let's be honest about it. It's very painful to wait for her to talk. She takes forever. She speaks kind of like she's writing some kind of weird poetry. She'll speak for 5 or 6 words and then stops and then speaks again. Talk about weird, that's weird. But I got a lot more to say about that in another video. Kamala Harris has had a long history of deception and spin. She is notorious for flip-flopping on issues and trying to always rewrite her own history. This latest stunt is just another attempt by her to rewrite history, trying to manipulate the actual truth. The contract, if you will, was between Donald Trump and President Joe Biden. It's like any other agreement, any other contract. When one party steps down, you just don't substitute someone else in without proper discussion and consensus. Now, don't get me wrong, if you're talking about true contractual law, if there are provisions in there for someone else to take their place, then so be it. But in this particular agreement, there was no such agreement. Again, this was between Trump and Biden, period. Imagine signing a business contract with one company, and then out of nowhere, another company shows up to fulfill the so-called contractual obligation. This is not just improper, it's downright deceitful. The American people were promised a debate between Trump and Biden, not Harris. Her stepping in without proper protocol is not only misleading, but also a blatant attempt to take advantage of the situation. Kamala Harris is trying to paint herself as a savior who will stand in for President Joe Biden. But the reality is, my friend, she is doing nothing but exploiting the situation for political gain. She knows that President Joe Biden's performance and his popularity are in the toilet. And she, of course, is desperate to seize that moment and run with it. This is not about transparency or democracy. It's about power and control. Furthermore, let's take a look at Kamala Harris's record. This is the same Kamala Harris that says she is not against guns. She's not for gun control. She now says she'll let us all, in the kindness of her heart, keep our Second Amendment rights afforded to us under the Constitution instead of what she promised, which was effectively to have a mandatory buyback program, which means in code for gangs of police going door to door to confiscate guns from all of us. She now says she's for fracking after saying many times she was not for fracking. Forget about fracking. She's not even for oil exploration or oil production. You name the issue, and Kamala Harris has flip-flopped on the issue. I've heard people say, oh, well, you know, politicians, they just change over time. This is not about a little change here, a little change there. She is literally rewriting everything she has ever stood for. And I, for one, don't believe it, and neither should you. She can claim she never supported radical policies, despite the tons of video evidence we all have. The truth is, folks, right now, she is the presumptive nominee. She does not even have, as of the recording of this video, an actual vice president. She's expected to announce one later today or tomorrow, but that is the reality. And there's always a chance, just like with President Joe Biden, she may not get the nomination. Who knows? Something could happen. Her history of lying and spinning facts is very well documented. And this is just another chapter in her book called Deceit. The woke liberal media, of course, they are all backing her up, trying to rewrite this narrative and frame Donald Trump as the villain. They're spending tons of resources trying to push these false narratives, and they hope that the public will not see through this charade. But my friends, I'm here to expose the truth. Trump is not backing out of any type of debate. And Donald Trump sure the heck is not backing out of a debate with Kamala Harris. And the reason for this is because there was never supposed to be a debate between Trump and Harris. That was never agreed to, no matter what the woke liberal talking head media tells you. The deal that was on the table and agreed to was with Biden and Trump. And it needs to stay that way unless and until other arrangements have been made and are agreed to. And you know, when you think about it, why should Donald Trump try to accommodate ABC News? ABC News is one of the worst woke media. We're all familiar with reporter George Snuffleupagus, or however you say his name. The reality is he was on TV a few weeks ago, and he all but said that Donald Trump is a rapist, and that is false. He has never been found guilty of rape. And given the opportunity to back off that comment, he doubled down. And as a result, currently, former President Donald Trump has sued George Snuffleupagus and ABC News. Be kind of hard to go to a debate that is going to be moderated by Fair George and at a place that Donald Trump obviously cannot get a fair shake. Imagine being part of a debate in a forum moderated by someone that you're suing and officially organized by a news agency that you're also in litigation with. Sounds absurd. What's important to remember, my friends, is this is all part of a larger strategy. The Democrats are trying to distract from their own failures by rehashing the old story that Donald Trump is the real enemy. It's more of their false narrative. They know that Kamala Harris's record will not stand up to scrutiny. Kamala Harris knows this. That's the reason why to date she has not given one interview, not one interview, with any media organization because she does not want to have to defend her record. She's trying the Joe Biden strategy of 2020 where he effectively just hid in his basement. And she's trying the same thing. And it looks like the liberal woke media might let her away with this. It's ridiculous. And we're not going to allow it to happen. They know her record will not stand up to any type of scrutiny. And as a result, they're using every tactic they possibly can to create some type of diversion, to divert your attention. The truth is, Kamala Harris has no real solutions for the problems facing America. She's more interested in playing political games than addressing the issues that matter to the American people. In conclusion, do not be fooled by Kamala Harris. Don't be confused by Harris's constant manipulation of the facts, especially the facts pertaining to this so-called debate. The scheduled debate has always been between Biden and Trump, and any attempt to change that without proper protocol is just another lie. We need to stay vigilant and call out these deceptive tactics for what they are. The American people deserve honesty and transparency, not political spin and manipulation. My friends, if you're still with me, please take a moment, hit the thumbs up button. Be sure to subscribe and like this video. It does help the algorithm. It helps the channel, helps get this message out. If you have any family members, friends suffering the awful disease of indoctrination, that's what I'm here for. Please share this video with them. Also, I ask you to take a moment and comment below. Do you agree with me, disagree with me? What do you think President Trump is doing right or doing wrong? And what advice, if any, do you have for him? Please do leave me a comment. I respond to all comments sooner or later. And if you subscribe to the channel, I guarantee that I will get to your comment first and as quickly as possible, as I personally respond to all comments myself. It's always a pleasure to have an opportunity to speak with you, and I sincerely appreciate you joining me today. I do not take it for granted, not for 1 second. I always say, my friends, keep that mind free, never give up. And until next time, I am J.R. Dukes.